thank you to everyone that has joined for the fourth Piggyback Blog webinar. Some of the platform may end up changing coming up so that I can facilitate more of our requests and also include those that are new to Piggyback as well. I got a chance to meet a good many bloggers at Mega Camp last week. That's why we didn't have a webinar, and we're back at it again this week. For most people, your Piggyback blog is already set up. If it is not, if you have not received an email from me that includes your login information and how to get to the area in which you need to be able to log into your Piggyback blog, then please let me know or send me an email at the end of this webinar, and we can connect and make sure that everything's all good to go for you. So the big thing is the Piggyback blog is your ability to be able to blog on your e-agency platform. Currently, without this, there is the ability to add additional pages through e-agency, but you're limited. And there's the ability to add photos through e-agency, but those are limited as well. You're limited to 50 photos per your photo gallery. Now, your Piggyback blog does not have a limit, and this is where I suggest putting any and all content that you want to add to your website. So we get a lot of people that want to change out things that are on their buyers or sellers pages, or unhappy with the contact forms on their e-agency because they're pages that you can't edit on your own. But the Piggyback blog is the answer to those questions. It allows you to add in any kind of page that you want, and all it requires in order for us to link it back is for us to change things within your menu inside of your e-agency area in section 3.1. And that little area is a little finicky, but it definitely is possible to make everything link back to your Piggyback blog. All right, so this is a Piggyback blog. It looks just like Anthony's regular website, but it is his ability to be able to add content to his website on a regular basis. If you are logging into your Piggyback blog for the first time, you have multiple ways to get there. You can always log in through piggybackblogs.com. There's a button at the top that says log in. If you're on your actual website, all you have to do is click to go to your blog, and then you can either type wp-admin to the end of this and get to your login that way. Or if you are on your site, on your blog site, there's usually on the default sidebar the ability to click in to log in through the meta area. Now, it says log out currently because I'm already logged in. Okay. So as you can see on this current site, on this current blog that we're looking at, there's a couple of blog posts. These are all like mine that I've been playing around with for a while now and utilizing during these webinars and through the tutorials that are on our YouTube channel, which I definitely recommend going to. If you've received an email at any point in time requesting that you join these webinars or anything like that, at the top of that email stationery, there's an option to be able to go view all of our tutorials and all of our previous webinars as well. Everyone has been recorded just like today's is. Okay, so once you've gotten into your Piggyback blog, you're going to be greeted by a new area. If you haven't logged into your blog lately, you'll notice that your sidebar area is now being taken over by the color red. This is something that we have put into place to try and minimize confusion for our users. Now, if you're new to Piggyback blog, I do recommend just going down, and there's an area that has a little slider that says default. And you can switch that over to where it says basic, and this will drop down all those extra options that may be a little bit confusing and give you just the bare bones what you need, which for a lot of people this is definitely going to be a big help. And then we've also moved some very important pieces to the dashboard. Straight from the dashboard, you're able to watch our Piggyback blog tutorial playlist straight from there. All you have to do is click, start, and the video will play. You don't have to go to YouTube anymore. It's all right there. Or you can click to go to YouTube if you want it full size. If you make any changes to your e-agency, you're going to need to refresh your Piggyback blog. Now, the ability to do that has also been moved to the front. Um, your domain name is going to be listed here for it to pull the look from, and all you have to do is click refresh. So now there's no more having to look under appearance under eAgency. To do this is all on the home page for you as well. So if you're on the basic, or if you're on the default version, which is more an advanced version, it just takes things down to, like I said, the bare bones. You can see there's an area that says post. This is your most important button of your entire Piggyback blog. If you have went to a page where it says, if you've went to someone's blog, the sections here that show on that page are what you call blog posts. If you were to make a page, they're not going to show on the actual page that says post. Okay, so if you're going to add a post, you can click Add New by sliding over Posts, or if you went to All Posts, there's the option to click on Add New. Now, if you're confused as to what may be different between a blog post versus a blog page, put it this way. If you're going to visit a bookstore, the big difference between a lot of the books are they're either current or they're for use for like forever, like a blog, like not a blog, but like a novel versus like a magazine. Now, a magazine is going to have current information. They're going to be quick and digestible, something you don't have to invest, days in reading or anything like that. And that's mostly like what you're going to get when it comes to a blog post. Now, if you look at a novel is something that stands the test of time. It's static information. It's something that's never going to change. And that's more like a blog page. Blog pages are awesome for things like About Us pages. Let me find one real quick. I don't have one right off the bat, but blog pages are awesome because, well, controlling photos is not that easy through your eAgency website, but through your Piggyback blog, it's very simple. And a lot of people are moving their About Us pages to their Piggyback blog. And I definitely recommend this with a lot of the changes that Keller Williams is going to be going through over the next year and more. The more content that you have in your Piggyback blog, the more ahead of the game you're going to be. Also, when it comes to blogging, when the eAgency platform moves over to this new MyKW website, you're going to want to have your blogging in place, and you're going to want to definitely be on point with it, because then you're going to have every single other Keller Williams agent also blogging. So right now is the time to really get into the practice of these kind of things. So if you're going to create a blog post, it's important to create a title that is going to encompass a keyword. And a keyword is going to be what you're actually writing about. Now, what you're writing about should be about things that are going on in your area. So if we're in Orlando and I wanted to focus on a community, and I'm going to focus on a community like Baldwin Park. If I'm going to focus on Baldwin Park, then Baldwin Park should be in my title, in my content, in my URL, in my meta description. It should be in all those locations, so that if someone is searching for some information on Baldwin Park in the search engines, they're much more likely to land on my page. And my website's going to have a lot more to do with Baldwin Park than just Orlando. So if we're going to write a blog post about, let's say, the beginning of every month, there's a nice little stroll along the park kind of thing in Baldwin Park. So I seriously doubt this is the name of it. But something like that, that's going to include the word Baldwin Park, and it's going to include the name of the event. So it's going to help broaden the abilities for people to find our information inside of search engines. If you take a look at how the URL ended up, you'll notice that it took out the parentheses and it added in dashes in between each section. Now, if we had included the words like the and I, it usually will remove those because those are considered stop words. Okay, so if we're going to continue on to our actual blog post, we're going to talk about the event, what if we've been to the event in the past, if we like the event, what's going to be offered, pretty much any bit of information we can put in there as possible, as well as we're going to want to include photos and a link to maybe where people can get more information about the event that's going on. So give me 1 second. I'm going to grab some placeholder text because I'm not going to write a full blog post. But we can include an image. So let's go ahead and go in and add, let's say we're going to add this one here. And we're going to say that it's a left alignment. That means that the text is going to sit to the right of the image. If I did right alignment, then the text will wrap to the left side of the image. If it's centered, then the text will show up above and below the photo. None sometimes kind of does its own thing. So you can also choose at this point what size you would like for this image to show up at. If you want it to be a thumbnail, a medium-sized image, a small image, it isn't showing because it's too small already, large or full size. So this gives it a great option for you to size it accordingly to its importance. Medium is pretty much my go-to size for most images when it comes to within my text. So if we're going to insert this image, we're going to have it sit to the left, and I'm going to grab some filler text, and it's going to look like Latin to the rest of you guys, but to me, it's going to look like filler text. Paste. All right, so you can see how the image and the text sit. I know it looks a little close inside this area, but whenever we publish it and actually look at it on our website, there's a nice space that goes all the way around the image to where it's not crowded the way it looks in here. All right, so if we're wanting to add in hyperlinks and things like that throughout our text, you'll notice that the little chain link is currently grayed out in our toolbar. And just so people know, if they're trying to do any of this on their own, there's a section here called Toolbar Toggle. And what this does is it drops down what we like to call the kitchen sink. And it allows for you to manipulate your text a little bit more. So if that's why you're not seeing two lines, then all you have to do is click that and it'll open up for you. Okay, so creating a hyperlink, we just want to select the text that we want to allow people to be able to click on and go somewhere else or somewhere within our own website. You can highlight it, and that lights up our ability to add a link to it. So when we click that, we're able to add in a link. Now, there's an option to where you can link to existing content, and you can get to that by clicking this drop-down area. And if you want to link inside of your own information, you don't have to click for it to open in another browser. But if you're linking to like somewhere on YouTube or somewhere in someone else's website, you're going to want to click for it to open the link in a new window or a tab. That way they're more likely to stay on your website and to not leave it. All right, so this allows us to have a hyperlink. If we want to change the link that the photo goes to, we can click on the photo and then click the little pin, and we can change where that link is going to here by clicking custom URL, and let's say we want to have it go to BRANDco.com. And then you click update. So now if they click here, they're going to go directly to BRANDco.com. Which would work out really great if you had like an image that, you know, just says click here to contact us or something like that that you wanted to add into a blog post. Other important information I would say would be to be able to add a photo into your content. So we're going to add a photo where the cursor is right now. So let's go grab one at YouTube. Now this will work differently if you're using a video from Vimeo or anywhere like that. It's going to work a little bit differently. So I just click and go into the actual video so that I can grab the URL that's at the top of the screen and copy it. So if we go back to our blog post, we're just going to go in here and paste it. And that should work for us. If it doesn't, then I know how to go in and fix this, and it probably do good for y'all to be able to see that kind of thing happen, because it seems like it happens kind of quite often. So I clicked publish to make this blog post live. So if I go to my blog, then it's going to show up at the top because it is our newest blog post. So I'm going to click view post so I can see how it displays on the internet. Yep, it looks like it didn't work, so let's go back and fix the video real quick. So this is our video section. I'm going to go in here and look under text and see what could be happening with it. Oh, look at there. It's got code on either side of it, which is going to make it not work correctly. So let's click update and click view post again. And that's what's supposed to happen. So the video can play inside of our actual blog post. Let's see. What else can I do to this actual blog post? Well, there's this SEO area down here at the bottom that I get a lot of questions about on a regular basis. A lot of our clients like to add in something really interesting for this area here called your focus keyword. One main thing to realize on this section is that it says keyword. So as few words as possible. The key word for this is not September's Baldwin Stroll and Baldwin Park announced. It would be Baldwin Park. So this plugin, what it does is it's checking to see if your content is focused on what you actually meant to be talking about. So Baldwin Park is checking now to see if it's in the article heading, if it's in the title, if it's in the page URL, if it's in the content, and if it's in the meta description. So yes, it's in the heading and the title, and it's in the URL because we added it to the title and the URL was made from the title. It's in there. So we need to have it in the content. And of course, it's not in the content because this is just filler text. But if we add it in, let's say, inside there, let's go ahead and update it so that the area in the bottom down here refreshes. All right, so now it's in my content as well. And now we need it in the meta description. So a meta description is kind of your ability to draw in your search people under your search queries, where people go in, they ask for something specific to Google. The results that you get have things in them called meta descriptions. So if you don't set a meta description, it's going to pull the first 156 characters of your content into there. And usually that means a cut-off sentence or not really getting your point across. To me, I blabber a little bit when it comes to the beginning because I'm getting it started before I'm actually getting into the content. So it just grabbing the first 156 characters for me doesn't work out. But it's a great opportunity for you to kind of go, this is what's happening with this blog post. You should totally click here. So I'm just going to write something really quickly. Obviously, the content isn't in place, so I don't have anything to play off of. But Baldwin Park is a great little community that hosts a monthly event called the Baldwin Stroll, where residents can enjoy local beers and restaurants. So that's got a lot of little information in it that includes the name of the event, the name of the community, which is our keyword. It also includes like local beers and restaurants, things like that. So it has a lot to offer. So someone that is looking on search engine is going to see this. They're going to see this is the title, the URL, and then they're going to see the meta description that we've set. Now, you'll see here that it says warning, the title description in Google is limited to a fixed width, and mine's too long. This cuts off after the RE. So if I don't want it to say, real estate news afterwards, I can just copy the title and add it in there again. So if I update, it's going to give me a green light. Now, it's giving me a green light because there's more than 300 words. I've included an image. The image doesn't have alt text, but it's going to warn me about that in a second regarding my keyword. But you can find all those extra things through the page analysis section. If something is red in here, that's what's keeping you from having a green light. I like to pay attention to the things that are orange after that. If it's something that I can change, then I would try to. The images in this page do not have alt tags containing your keyword, which means that if Google looks at this image, it doesn't know anything more about it other than the fact that it's a Publix deli. They may want to know that it's in Baldwin Park as well. So if we update, that's going to clear that out as well.
So we're going to put the covering back on.
And that clears out that warning. So you can add the keyword in more often. And obviously, if you're writing a full blog post, you're going to write more about the actual community and include the name of the community as well throughout the actual content. So you're going to see that more often, less often if you're actually writing the blog post, unlike here where it's just filler text. Okay, and over here to the other side, the last little key piece, I've included this in a category within my blog. This makes my blog posts a lot more easily sortable. So I'm going to include it into Baldwin Park, and you're going to see that it added it to my URL. So even if I wasn't talking about Baldwin Park already in the title, it has now added Baldwin Park to my actual URL if I was just talking about the Baldwin Stroll. So that's an option as well. And this allows people then later on, whenever they're actually looking at your blog, they can click and see all of your posts that involve Baldwin Park by just clicking on that one category. And then they're all going to be in one place, and they can click to go into the actual blog post from there. All right, so I have a few more minutes. It's just to show you, pages are very much just like how posts are. They're done the exact same way as far as their layout. You need a title, the content, the SEO section is there as well. But this is not going to show up on your blog page whenever you click publish. You're going to have to add it into a menu in order for anyone to be able to see it. And a lot of people are doing these for your community pages, your About Us pages, your Contact Us pages, things like that. It's a big asset. And like I said, with the change of the e-agency sites coming up, all the content that you have in your Piggyback blog will be able to port out with you or go with you at some point. So it's better to have your content ready to go than to have it still sitting on e-agency. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here, and then I'll be able to take your questions. So I'm going to unmute everyone that's in the chat. So if you want to ask questions, you can feel free to do so by your own voice. You don't have to use the chat function. But if you want to use the chat function, all you have to do is click the little chat bubble. Then you'll be able to type in your question to everyone or to just me. Either way would be fine. Okay, so give me 1 second. All right, guys. So if you have a question, please feel free to go ahead and ask it. It'd be awesome if you give me your name so that I'm able to go to your website to answer your question and make it a little bit more personable for you.
Hey, Tracy. This is Jan Swift. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I hear you.
Okay. Is there any way I could get a call after your webinar?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have time? Just maybe about 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, I'll put it
Okay.
on my calendar to call you right afterwards.
Great. Thanks.
Are you also viewer 9?
I guess I am. Does it say?
Did you just put 2 comments in?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah, that's my phone number.
Okay.
I guess nobody else has a question. Okay. I'm going to sign off. I'll just wait for you. Bye.
Okay, sure. All right, well, I'm going to just continue on then if nobody's asking any questions. I'm going to go into the Wolfnet WordPress plugin and explore all the things that are offered inside there, and then we'll go ahead and create a community page along with it. Because we're already focusing on Baldwin Park, let's just, let's focus on what I have to offer as far as this MLS is concerned. So if you go to the Wolfnet area, there's a section within it called Search Manager, and the Search Manager allows you to add in a search into your blog posts. Now, this is something that we promote a lot because it's like SEO on like autopilot. Whenever a listing gets listed inside of one of these searches, it adds another page to your domain. If someone gets sold, then it gets cleared out of here without you having to do anything additional in order to be able to make that happen. So we're going to go ahead and pick, let's say, Wisconsin, and then let's pick an area in Wisconsin. Prairie Farm sounds cute. There's 5 matches inside a Prairie Farm without us going any further in and picking like single property or anything like that on top of it. So let's go ahead and say we're going to make a blog post about Prairie Farm. Okay, and then we saved it down here at the bottom. In that area, you're going to see all your saved searches that you've made. You can delete them if you've realized that you don't like any of them that you've made or you don't see any use in them later on or something like that. But if you go under Pages, you can click to go Add New. So I always begin this with a title that includes the name of the area and then the keyword phrase, homes for sale. So Prairie Farm homes for sale in Wisconsin. I definitely suggest including the state if your domain name doesn't already have the state in it at some point somewhere, just to kind of help like center down those search queries on Google or Bing or Yahoo. All right, so if we're going to write about this area, we're going to do so and every once in a while use the term Prairie Farm. And we'll want to add in photos from this area. We're going to want to make sure that Prairie Farm is being used inside of the alternate text. And we're going to want to fill out this area down here as well. Now, we're going to want to add in our our property search as well. So if we click on Wolfnet Shortcode Builder, and we want to insert a listing grid. The listing grid will show our search as nice little photos with images, and then below that will be our property information. So if we go under listing grid, and you can do basic or advanced. Advanced is going to allow you to select a saved search. So if you click Save Search, you can go to Prairie Farm. You can decide whether or not you want to include a certain number of listings, or if you want to have different options. If you want to include pagination, if you want a map to be above or below, or if you want just a map to show. And then all you do is click Insert. Now this will give you this weird bit of code, and then what that is, that's called a short code. And but WordPress knows just what to do with it. So if we click Publish, this is going to make it live, but like I said, when it comes to a page, most people aren't going to be able to actually see this page without being linked to it. So you'll need to add it to your menu or have another link to it somewhere within your website. So if we go view the page, you can see there a title about Prairie Farm Homes for sale in Wisconsin as the title. We have our content, our photo, and then we have all of our listings that we have for Prairie Farms. So if we clicked on any of these, they would also display within the actual domain. So for every listing that's in here, there's another page on the domain name, which is great for search engine optimization. Google cares whether or not you have a lot of pages and a lot of content throughout your website to show that you're not just a website that's sitting there not doing anything. So that's how you create a community page, and you would link it into your e-agency after that. Does anyone have any additional questions? Okay, well, I'm going to draw this webinar to a close. If you have any additional questions, you can feel free to email me directly at tracy@brandco.com, TRACY@brandco.com, or you can feel free to schedule a time with me to speak directly about any of the questions that you have regarding your blog, why you should blog, how to blog, any of those kind of questions. And I have an area where you can go and set up those appointments, and I've just sent it to the whole group. Okay, I have a question. All I need is the Wolfnet WordPress plugin to add the listings. Yes, you are required to have the actual WordPress plugin from Wolfnet. They'll provide you with a product key in order for you to be able to put it in action. That's going to be added to your general settings area, and you're going to have a product keys section that you're going to be able to put your key in to make it work. Now, you will then have to add the listings yourself to the specific pages. I think it's really great to also include them on posts as well. If you're also making community pages, I suggest adding them to posts. So let's say back on the 4th of July, a client that has a lot of really nice houses that are on the market that have great views for fireworks. they created a blog post about fireworks and that included those houses specifically. Hey, these are great houses that have great firework views. You should, if you are really into that sort of thing, these are the houses for you, kind of thing. So there's a lot of applications to be able to utilize it. Or if there's an event going on that you can find all the houses that are within the walking distance of that event. Maybe that's an add-on point. So the more you use that plugin, the better it's going to be. Also, I believe everybody's microphones are unmuted. If you have a mic, you can feel free to ask the question out loud. All right, well, I'm going to draw this to a close. I'm going to have the recording uploaded to our YouTube channel, and then an email will be sent out with everybody, giving everybody the ability to be able to listen to this at a later date. If you have any questions, you can either schedule a time with me or you can send the questions directly to me by email, and I would be happy to either answer them by email or find out whether or not there's something that I think that we could connect by phone to go over together. So, thank you for joining, and there'll be another one next week unless we decide on the new structure, but we'll keep you informed. Be sure to stay up with our social media networks on Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, and Instagram. And all of our announcements for our webinars will also be included on those social channels. So connect with us. Thanks.